Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. My name is Vicky. I am the face and the voice behind parentsinlight.com. You might have read some of my stuff, and if you are here, if you're watching this, I believe you have, and that really makes me very, very happy because that means there is hope for the future. I decided to go ahead and make this video because so many parents, people have asked me one question that is super, super important to everything that I'm doing here. And that is the question of, is it really possible not to judge? Or how can you say that you don't judge? So, sorry, I will explain. It's not that I don't judge, because not judging is not possible. As soon as we have a thought in our brains, as soon as we use words, our vocabulary, to try and explain a situation that happened, that is already a judgment. But there is really a way out of it, because most of us are completely controlled by our thoughts. And there is a way of making sure that we control these thoughts instead of letting them control us. And that is what I want to talk to you about today. So it's not possible not to judge, but we don't have to let judgment get the better of us. And I'll tell you exactly how it works. Let's say something happens, there is an occurrence. Let's say you want your child to do something and he just won't do it. Now, it's something that you tried to make him do in the past, and in the past he also didn't want to. And then you decide this child of yours is lazy, he's maybe defiant or disrespectful, or a bunch of other words you might use to call him. So there is this one thing that happened, and then there's your reaction to it. And between these two things, there is a gap. There's a gap that you fill with your knowledge of the past, your hopes of the future, even your current state of mind. And if you did or did not get enough sleep, all those things come in between what actually happened and the way you react to it. So by the time you actually come to react to something, you no longer react to what happened. You react to the way you thought about it, to the words you used. And then you go out and blurb something like, you're lazy, why can't you just go ahead and do that? What's the problem? And that is what I call judgment. When we judge people, when we judge children, we take their entire life experience and we minimize it. We minimize it into a certain word, a completely static word that allows no movement whatsoever, because life is not static. Life is a process. There is a variety of things that happened before, yesterday or last week or even last year, that made this child not want to do this specific thing right now. Maybe he tried to do something similar in the past and he failed. Maybe he saw a friend of his doing it and he's afraid he won't do it as well. Maybe he did something like that and somebody laughed at him and now he's feeling insecure. I have no idea. It could be a variety of different things. But we won't know unless we ask. And most of us, we don't ask. We state firm facts. You're lazy. What's wrong with you? Why can't you do that? So that child who is now facing a certain task he doesn't want to accomplish doesn't only need to deal with the way he feels about that task, with everything that happened before this moment. He doesn't only have to deal with his disappointments, with his feelings, with his fears. He now needs to deal with the fact that you are judging him. So not only you made him feel worse about himself, you made him feel worse about you also. Now, I don't know where we got, not we, but many people have this weird idea that in order to make somebody do better, we have to first make him feel worse. This is the source of all punishments, of everything that I don't think should be taking part in parenting, definitely, and surely not in any other relationship. Because making people feel worse doesn't motivate them. It doesn't motivate them to do things differently, and it doesn't motivate them to do things better. It only motivates them to feel worse about themselves and about us, and to actually want to cooperate with us even less than they did before we went out and said, oh God, why are you so lazy? But we're really doing that because this is everything our world had ever taught us. Nobody ever told us that there is a different way of communication. Nobody ever told us that we can address the needs and feelings that bring people, and definitely children, to the present moment. Nobody ever told us that beneath the behavior, there are always needs and feelings. Nobody ever told us that the behavior is the very last link in the experience that we call life. And when we try and address the behavior only, we will not be able to change it. And if we will be able to change it, we will do it in a way that will further disconnect us from our children, because we will be using fear, we will be using guilt, we will be using shame. These three strategies will eventually lead to our complete disconnection from our children. They would never trust us. I might be exaggerating, but honestly, it's not a good path to go down. Instead, there is compassion, there is empathy, there is curiosity, there is love. Instead of saying, why the hell can't you just do that? We can say, wow, I see that you really don't want to do that right now. Can you tell me why? Or, wow, I see that something that I said really, really made you angry. I want to know what happened. Please tell me. When we do this, we encourage a dialogue. We encourage introspect that helps our children look within them and find exactly what is bothering them, what stands between them and the task, what stands between them and cooperation, what stands between them, connection, understanding. Once we know where that barrier lies, we can remove it. And we will be able to remove it with love. We will be able to remove it with connection. We will be able to remove it with empathy. We will be able to create a relationship in which our little ones actually want to talk to us. They actually want to come to us asking for help. We want to be that go-to person whenever they face challenges, don't we? So in order for us to become that person that many of our parents were never for us, we need to show them curiosity. We need to replace exclamation marks with question marks. We need to replace statements with questions. We need to assume that we have no idea what's going on within their soul, because only if we assume that we know nothing, we can really ask questions that will help us know something, that will help us know the experience of the person who is standing in front of us. And that will allow the parenting relationship that we all want, the relationship with a person who trusts us, who is connected to us, who loves us, who knows that no matter what will happen, we will never love him more and we will never love him less, because love is free and there is no judgment and there is no interpretation. Just imagine this immense experience of freedom, knowing that you have all this. This is what nonviolent communication is about. This is what I'm talking about. And if you felt it, if you felt any of my words here, I really want to encourage you to try and do things differently tomorrow. Today, why tomorrow? And if you have any questions, message me or comment below. I'm really, really always here to help. And thank you so very much for listening. And who knows, I might do this video thing again. So see you next time.